This theory was founded by an anthropologist by the name of Marvin Harris. Harris began his long journey in New York, where he was born and attended Columbia University. He then traveled with his mentor to Brazil, his mentor being Charles Waigley, another anthropologist. While in Brazil, they did an insignificant study on Bosean tradition, which was the ideology founded by Franz Boas, the father of anthropology. But ironically enough, Marvin Harris would later go on to reject the very fundamentals of Bosean tradition. Harris then traveled to Mozambique, where he did a study that completely altered his philosophy and brought about the idea of cultural materialism. In order to support his theory, Marvin Harris traveled to India, where he did research on the role of sacred cows within the Hindu tradition. After India, Marvin Harris briefly traveled to Mexico, where he studied Aztec cultures and the role of protein deficiencies in cannibalism. Overall, it was an accumulation of his journeys that led him to his major idea, cultural materialism. But what is cultural materialism? Well, let me tell you. Okay. Marvin Harris basically says that humans have certain needs. Now, those needs can be food, it can be water, it can be sex, it can be sleep, just anything humans need to survive. And it depends on how human beings choose to organize those needs that yield a specific culture. That's cultural materialism. Nice job, Mom. But in 1968, when Marvin Harris introduced cultural materialism through his first novel, The Rise of the Anthropological Theory, he didn't explain cultural materialism in such simplicity. Rather, he gave society a framework, which consisted of three distinct layers: infrastructure, structure, and superstructure. The onion is a metaphor for cultural materialism. Five if you want to get closer. Oh my god. So let's look at the core of the onion. Oh. This is your infrastructure. That's the basic human needs of survival and reproduction we were talking about earlier. This is the core of every society. I got it. Okay, I got it. This is your structure, and this is found in every civilization as a result of the infrastructure. It's how people choose to organize themselves. Their laws, their government, their economics, and even their domestic kinships. Now this is the superstructure, the outermost layer of the onion. The superstructure consists of your arts, your beliefs, values, religion, and basically what Marvin Harris argued is that once your infrastructure changes, your superstructure changes. Marvin Harris believed his theory could be applied to the veneration of cows in India. Cultural materialism argues that cows in India are more useful as a labor source and for their dairy than they are for eating, and that's why they're protected. Because agriculture became a dominating force in India, their infrastructure changed. As a result, the superstructure, their religion in this case, also changed. In his novel, Cannibals and Kings, Marvin Harris discussed the development of pork as a taboo food in Middle Eastern society. Because Arabs live in dry climates, pigs cannot graze grass, therefore they had to compete with humans for grain. Marvin Harris argued that it was the food and environment within the infrastructure that led to the taboo of pigs within the superstructure, which was Islam in this case. Marvin Harris eventually published all of his work in a novel appropriately named Cultural Materialism. Overall, he was a pretty neat anthropologist, but he did receive a lot of criticism for his work because he took a very scientific approach in studying the development of culture.
Yeah.